Well, hello. Today I'd like to give you my first impressions of the Toes Pencala Goldie. Now, you probably remember, yeah, right, that 2 years ago I did a first impressions of another model. So I'm just kind of curious, and it might be kind of fun to compare the two later on. I'll just apologize. I went to bed last night, and as I'm going to bed, I said, oh, wait, today's Wednesday. 4th of July messed me up, so I'm off a day with my first impression. But let's dive into that first impression. All right, so this is the Toes Pencala Goldie, hence my shirt. Not very golden colored, and I'm going to put a link in the video. Oops. I thought that was dust on the clip, but it's not. It's a little bit of corrosion. I'm going to put a link in the video description to my first review of a Toes Pencala Goldie. That one had a nice checkerboard pattern. This one has a striped pattern. But whatever. Let's take a look at it. So, like with a lot of Toes Pencala pens, there's no branding. Clip is vaguely pelicanesque. Unscrew, we have a greenish ink window and a nib, which hopefully you could read that. It's a Bach nib. It says iridium, which tells me that this is probably a steel nib, because they always announce if it's gold. It's a piston filler. Piston seems to work well. This pen required a lot of cleaning when I got it, but that was about it. So I'm going to fill it up with a nice capitalistic ink, Quink washable blue, which I have conveniently poured into an ink miser because I'm filming 3 videos in a row. So I'm going to avoid the bubbling, I'm going to turn down the piston, snark it in, take a breath. Ooh, we used up some ink there. And, not perfect fill, but pretty good fill, actually. Got some bubbles. Do it again. And one more time. Might be interesting for future videos to actually get an ink miser where I can measure the ink level. So set it aside, hopefully not to tip over, because I got one more video I'm going to film with that. So the writing, I'm not sure what's going on yet. We're using Parker Quink. Washable blue. The lights and the darks are very different. I'm not sure why. Not a lot of line variation to it, though. It does seem to be improving. Like I said, when I got this pen, I had to do a lot of cleaning. So, I don't know if that's what the problem is or what, but definitely some differences there. It feels good, though. It feels good on the page. It's very smooth. Ooh, unless I get it at a bad angle like I did just there. It, caught almost immediately. But if I don't put a little pressure on it, it's very faint, like right there. See, there's no pressure. There's some pressure. Not a lot of pressure, but pressure. The smear test. Wet, if done with pressure. If done without pressure. I don't think I've had a pen that dry yet in this channel. Reverse writing. Yeah, if I don't put a little pressure on this nib, it gets super dry super quick. And finally, the world-famous Pierre Gustafson test. I'm going to run it twice. Once with no pressure and once with a little bit of pressure. We're just going to see what happens. Usually, I run it without pressure. But because of how this pen is acting, I'm going to run it twice. Okay, with no pressure. Oh, wow, that was bad. Now let's run it again with some pressure. Quite good. So we'll put no pressure there and pressure here. So what does that mean? Well, it means the pen probably needs a little bit of work. But what I'm going to be interested in is how is this pen going to be in the coming days, because I'm going to use it for a couple of days, and I'm doing 3 pen videos today, so you'll probably see it several weeks after this. So we'll see what happens. So that was the Toes Pencala Goldie. My last one was checkerboard colored. I'll put a link to the video down below in the video description. This one is green striped. I'm kind of partial to the checkerboard colored one. I'm thinking I have not written with the checkerboard colored one since then, which makes me think I didn't really like it. With this pen, I wasn't real thrilled either. But one thing I did is, if you take your nib and just kind of go, give it some pressure on a piece of paper, sometimes you can solve those flow problems. Don't do it too much or the nib goes boing, and then you got a sprung nib, and you have much bigger problems to solve. Another possible solution sometimes is flossing it with a brass shim, which I have one, I just haven't done that yet. So there's some solutions to what you saw where it's got a lot of ink starvation when I don't use any pressure. But, bending it back a little bit using this technique is often a very helpful one. So it did help a lot. And I do like the definite line variation that this pen gives me. It's comfortable in my hand. It's very attractive. I like that green finish. And yeah, so Toes Pencala, of course, is a company that was located behind the Iron Curtain. It was started in Croatia back in the 1920s by a Jewish man and a Polish man. The Polish man ended up dying because he was kind of a daredevil, so he ended up dying doing daredevil stuff. The Jewish man ended up dying in the concentration camps during the Second World War, but the company survived. And when the communists came and created Yugoslavia out of all those different small countries, the company survived as Toes, because it was originally Mostar Pencala, which was basically Zagreb Pencil Factory. It was what Toes stands for. And then they tried to make a go of it after the fall of communism, but sadly the company is no more. And I have more history on the company and other videos of this brand. I just don't have a pocket in this shirt, but I always like to do a pocket test. It's good if I hit the pocket. Yeah, not bad. It slipped on once I turned the clip in the right direction, but yeah, pretty good for a pocket test. So all in all, a good pen. Some of that stuff about the writing you just don't know until you write it, and that's a weakness of doing first impression videos, is you don't know. And then, but I got it working, and I'm happy. And I have no idea if this shirt is in any reference at all to the pen company. Pencala may be something horribly obscene and pornographic for all I know in the modern world, but I thought the fountain pen people will get this shirt. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. And if I am wearing a horribly obscene pornographic shirt, please don't tell me. I'm a lot happier not knowing. So I want to thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.